Well, you can check out all of those properties, of course, on our website, toop.com.au, and if you find that special home you might be sitting out the front, you can always put the number, the street name, .toop.com.au, and it'll take you straight to the site for that property. Now, still on the show with me at the moment is Mark Potter, of course, Associate Director with Baker Young Stockbrokers. Mark, rather than a couple of emails, perhaps just to finish our discussion we were having a few moments ago, really interested to know what your thoughts are on the back of the federal budget and so forth. What effect has that had on the share market? And then, of course, moving forward with the election, what that might do in terms of people's confidence or otherwise for the share market.
Okay, well, firstly, I suppose as far as the federal budget was concerned, there wasn't really too much impact on the share market at all. I mean, most of it got leaked beforehand anyway, and we all realised that you know, the government's been spending more than it's bringing in, and the tailing off of the mining boom has affected the receipts to Treasury as well. So, you know, there were just snippets of, you know, a little bit more Medicare levy to pay, a little bit less you can get into super, a little bit more tax you might pay on earnings from super. There's no double dipping and dividend stripping allowed. They're going to pig back on that for sort of the very high net wealth super funds.
Yep.
And so it was just sort of chipping away at the edges a little bit. So no major impacts, but just little sort of, I suppose if you're paying more tax, well, you've got less money to invest, of course. So,
Indeed.
As far as the election is coming up, I mean, I suppose the market's factoring in that there will be a change in government.
Yep.
And you know, that government will probably, you know, do what it can to address that budget deficit issue. So that probably means that there's going to be more cuts to spending rather than increases in tax.
Yes.
So look, I don't know. Business generally likes a Conservative government in power.
Yep.
And so if they're holding on to something, there may be some further investment that occurs following a change in government. But really, you know, these are minor issues for the stock market at the moment.
Traditionally, have you seen in years gone by, in the lead up to a federal election, does the share market just quieten down a little bit? Whether it goes up or down, does the trading quieten down for a little bit, or?
Not really, and you know, people put a lot of focus on the politics. Probably one of the biggest impacts we have seen recently was when you know, they proposed the mining tax, and there was this whole issue about, well, you know, the safe haven status of investing in Australia as you know, one of the top countries for resource investment. You know, maybe we should be thinking differently about that. Yeah. So, you know, other than that, so as long as the government doesn't do anything particularly stupid, the market won't.
One would hope that's the case.
Yeah. Then you know, business tends to go on, and investors focus on value and what they're actually investing in.
Okay. And just finally, before you go, any little scoops that you can give us from the company or indeed the share market? Well,
so. I mentioned a couple earlier, Newcrest and Beetle Resources in the gold sector, which is sort of contrarian, you know, been beaten down opportunities at the moment that are well funded and going to be highly profitable going forward, despite weaker gold prices. They're two that you could look at.
Yep.
Also at Baker Young, we are looking at a number of emerging technology plays and biotechnology plays, and we feel that there's going to be increased interest in investment. And some positive news around the corner for some of these companies that we're involved in. And so if you're interested in finding out more, please give us a call.
Excellent. Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us. Much appreciated.
No, thanks for having us. I really appreciate it. Any time.
Good. Thanks, Mark. And just if you do want to speak to Mark, of course, as he said, give him a call. But of course, their website, bakeryoung.com.au, is a place where you can start your research as well. And now we're going to go and have a look at some of our hot properties.
That's all we have time for on today's show. Thanks for watching, and if there's anything you'd like to see again, then make sure you subscribe to our podcast. On next week's show, we have SA's Finest for you in Hazelwood Park, and this one is definitely for someone who likes the finer things in life. So make sure you tune in then next week Wednesday at 1 p.m right here on TOOP TV.